everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Livestock Time, where we'll be talking with Professor Dr. İsmet Türkmen, and he'll be speaking to us on the topic care and nutrition of dry cows. Hello, Professor.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. And how are you too?
I'm fine, okay, today.
Thank you. You're welcome to the show. Now, I would like us to start with what's the introduction of drying off. So, what is drying off, and why is this process so important? And what are the purposes of it?
Well, dry period is very critical period. It takes only 2 months dry period, but it's very critical. Why? I want to explain it. Why is important? So, dry period main purpose is to rest the udder or breast tissues. It's very important. During the dry period, the udder or breast tissues worn out during the milking period are renewed. So, for example, hidden mastitis cannot be treated during the milking period, can be treated dry period. Of course, dry period is very important stage. For example, the calves every day bigger than yesterday. So much takes live weight. It's very important. And then during dry period, mother makes colostrum for baby. It's very important period.
All right. So, do the nutritional needs of dry cows, are they different from other cows? And how should the nutrition of dry cows be managed?
The nutritional needs of dry cows is very different from lactating dairy cows. Therefore, in particularly, energy and protein needs are greatly reduced, not different from lactating dairy cow. In this period, should a high or low nutrition program be followed during this period. Dry cows definitely have low energy feeding program. Low energy feeding program compared to lactating cow is very important. Otherwise, when we give them high energy ration, high energy feed material, we can have very important problem after parturition. For example, ketosis is very dangerous, and fatty liver syndrome is very dangerous or fatal problem after parturition. If we give them high energy ration during the dry period, we don't use a high energy ration. We use low energy contains ration like human, like pregnant human. For example, when we look at the pregnant human, the doctor don't like our live weight gain. It is limited. It's very important.
All right, the low energy feeding program is the best for dry cows.
Of course, it's very important. Why? When we look at the field, some farmer say me, "Oh, no, why? No, because she has baby. She needs more energy, more feed material. This is wrong. This is very dangerous, like human.
Yes, thank you very much. So now let's talk about the general care of dry cows. What should be the housing condition? I mean, in the place where they are habitated, what should be the condition of the place where these dry cows stay?
Okay, I see what you mean. Like baby cows, everywhere is clean. Dry cows barn should be very large. It's very important, not narrow, very large, and good ventilated. Good has good air, good ventilated, large, and the barn has to be soft bedding material. Is very important. Why? Because dry cow has a big baby, therefore she needs to lie much more time. Therefore, she needs to good bedding material, soft and clean bedding material. For example, we can use straw, wheat straw, and etc. So, for example, dry cow barns should be, for example, cows should be housed at a rate of one animal per 15 or 18 square meter. It's very large.
Okay, so now let's talk about the temperature, the humidity. How should the environmental factors be for dry cows, and how should these environmental factors be managed? I mean, I'm talking about now the temperature, the humidity, and then the wind.
Generally, in Turkey, many farmers don't think about the temperature, weather condition for dry cow. Generally, he focused in Turkey. Many farmers focused lactating dairy cows. This is not true. We have to focus both of dry and lactating cows for temperature. Dry cow, optimum temperature for dry cow, like lactating cow, 15 or 18 centigrade degrees. And humidity should be between 30 or 50%. Dry cow and lactating cow. All of cattle, don't like our humidity, don't like our temperature. Hot stress is very important. Cattle's dry cows should be protect from extreme wind and cold.
Okay, so now let's move to the effects of drying off milk on the milk yield of cows. So, how does the drying off process affect the cow's next lactation period?
As a result of this process, for dry cow process, cows after parturition in lactating period, cows give much more milk during lactation period. They get less mastitis, a kind of very important disease. Other disease, mastitis is a kind of other disease. So it's very important process this period.
Okay, that's true. It's very important. And what are the essentials, or let's put it this way: how should the vitamin and the mineral needs of dry cows be met, and which vitamins and mineral deficiencies can cause problems in the long run? I mean, and during this period, and also in the long run.
Hmm. Okay, this is a good question. Why? Because generally we don't think about it. Farmer, I am thinking. So, in this period, two, one vitamin and one mineral, a source of mineral, amounts of mineral, is very important. As vitamin E. Vitamin E efficiency goes to bad immunity. Vitamin E is very important vitamin. And then second one, when we look at the second one, it is a not vitamin, this is a mineral. It's very important mineral, selenium. Selenium and vitamin deficiency should be avoided. Vitamin A, not E, vitamin A and D also very important. Good immunity, good health. We need much more vitamin E, vitamin A, D, and especially selenium. It's very important.
All right. Essentially,
Of course.
majority of the vitamins are very important, as they are also important to human beings. They are also important to, cows, especially dry cows. Now, let's talk about the digestive systems and the problems that dry cows face. What measures do you think should be taken for the digestive systems and the health problems that dry cows may face? And what kind of diet specifically do you recommend to combat digestive problems?
Okay, this is a good question. Absolutely. During dry period, there should be at least 4 kilo straw per day. So we have to use absolutely in dry period straw material, minimum 4 kilo per day, maximum 5 and 6 kilo per day during dry period. And then this feed as straw prevents many health problems. For example, what kind of health problems? Especially ketosis, especially abomination replacement. Why? When you use the straw as feed material, when we use the straw has no high energy. Straw takes straw control it our kilo problems.
All right, so now let's move to just talk about kilo problems. Let's move
Yes.
to the weight of dry cows, their body condition. How should the weight of dry cows be monitored, and how should the body conditions of these, animals be tracked? How can they be tracked and monitored?
Of course, the body condition minimum 3.0 minimum this period, and maximum must be 3.5 during dry period. No high, no low. Optimum range is here. Between 3 and 3.5. Optimum condition score.
Okay, great. So you said not high and not low. So,
Yes.
sometimes there are situations whereby things occur and sometimes the weight is higher or lower. So, what do you think in this condition can be done to balance out the weight?
This is a good question. For example, I can make an example of ration. For example, one dry cow per day, we can give them per day 4 and 5 kilo straw 2 kilo per day corn and barley or wheat, which is the find it. So 1 kilo a sort of protein supplement like soybean meal or cottonseed meal or sunflower meal, 1 kilo, and 1 kilo wheat bran, 1 kilo wheat bran, and vitamin and mineral supplement. If you find it, if you have corn silage per day 8 and 10 kilo. Maybe if you have hay, not alfalfa hay, grass hay, 1 kilo grass hay. Therefore, as a result of this ration, 4 and 5 kilo straw, 2 kilo corn, 1.5 kilo soybean, mixing soybean, cottonseed or sunflower meal, and then 8 and 10 kilo corn silage, 1 kilo wheat bran, 1 kilo a kind of hay, no alfalfa hay, only grass hay.
All right, there. So now let's talk about water consumption for dry cows. Is the water consumption different for dry cows in regards to other types of cows? And how should water consumption be managed for dry cows? Because we just talked about, the balance. There's a need for a balance. Yes, not too much, not too little. So how can the water consumption for dry cows be managed?
Okay. Water consumption per day is depend on temperature and depend on humidity, like human. For example, summertime per day per lactating cow, not dry cow, needs to 150 liters water, clean and cold water. When we look at the dry cow, summertime, she needs per day 50 liters water. Winter time, a bit less. For example, 30 or 35 liters is enough per day, clean and cold water.
Okay, so how should the care of calves be managed during this drying off period? And at the last stage of, how does the last stage before calving in dry cows, how does it affect the calves?
The calf grows the most during dry period. If there is a nutritional deficiency for dry cow in the mother animal, this will disrupt the development of the calf. Causes small and weak calves to be born. We have bad nutritional condition dry period. For example, low energy, low protein, extra low vitamin and mineral supplying. We can have weak and small calves to be born. It's very important.
Okay, thank you so much. Now let's move to the next question. This next question is about the feed for dry cows, what they take in, what they eat. What are the content, how should the content and the types of feed be changed during this period? I would also like you to also tell us about the frequency with which they should change.
Okay. For example, after lactating period, all of cow goes to dry period. that time we can go to immediately new diet, from lactating diet to dry cow diet. We can go to immediately. During this period, during this dry period, the use of legume group forages, group forages, especially before I say it, alfalfa hay, should be stopped. Why? Because alfalfa hay or alfalfa silage contain high calcium, high potassium. High calcium levels or high potassium levels is very harmful for dry cow, especially during parturition. Hypocalcemia, we can use alfalfa hay in dry period. The cattle cattle have a kind of disease after pregnant, hypocalcemia. It's called, it's very important problem, hypocalcemia problem. Therefore, we don't use alfalfa hay or alfalfa haylage. We have to use much more cellulose feed, and then feeds containing feeds don't contain excessive our potassium, our calcium. Generally, we prefer not legumes forage. Generally, we prefer grass legumes, grass forages. For example, corn silage, wheat straw, and raygrass, and etc.
All right, then. Thank you, Professor. Now, I want us to also talk about, the common mistakes that are made in the care of dry cows. In the discussion, you've already mentioned, mistakes with the feed, the nutrition. Now, what are the nutritional mistakes made for that occur in dry cows, and, in general, also the mistakes that are made in general?
Before we talk about, but I have to say it again, we avoided too much more energy. No energy. Energy is so harmful for dry cow, for baby, for cow. Energy is very important. Most important mistake made in this period, generally in field, is giving too so much energy. Vitamin and mineral deficiencies are another mistake. Many farmers don't use extra vitamin and mineral supplement in this period. Why? Because they said me, you don't use extra vitamin and mineral supplement in dry period? He says me, Professor, the dry period cow don't produce milk. It is only cattle. You say when you know vitamin and mineral supplement is so expensive. I can believe it, because vitamin and mineral supplement much more important than lactating period. Why? When we use extra vitamin and mineral supplement in this period, we can take more immunity, more good quality colostrum for baby cows. So another thing I can say, for example, we avoided to overcrowded group. We avoided to bedding material. We avoided to bed ventilated barn. is very important.
All right, there. So you stated that the energy level of dry calves should be carefully managed, and that
Of course,
it is
of
not
course.
a lot of energy is not required for dry calves. Now, what can be in the case where there is a high stress level, what can be done to reduce stress levels in dry calves, and the drying process, the drying off process, in general, how can the stress level be reduced completely? I mean, to a point where it's good for the cows themselves.
For example, do you have stress from time to time? Do you have stress? Sometimes I have stress. I'm human. When I have stress, I am resting. I am listening music, for example. In dry period, to prevent stress, we supply them quiet and peaceful place. It's very important. Quiet and peaceful barn. And also, the barn is very important. The barn they will stay in should not be overcrowded. And then again, there should be plenty of straw as bedding material, and then a good balanced ration. Quiet and peaceful barn, no overcrowded barn is very important. And extra optimum weather condition or the optimum ventilated barn.
All right, thank you, Professor. Now to the final and last question.
Okay.
What is the relationship between the care of dry cows and calf health? And then how should a balance be established between, drying off and calf care?
Okay. I talked about before. Poor care can, on the dry period, poor care can lead to weak and weak baby calves being born. And it's very important balanced management. We have to good management. Good bad management can lead to weak calves.
Okay. Thank you very much, Professor. I think with that we've come to.
I forgot it. It's very important.
Okay.
I have to add it. Another thing, during dry period is very important. We have to vaccinate the mother animals against the rota, coronaviruses, and septicemia microbes. We have to vaccinate mother animals during dry period.
All right. So, in general, the care of the dry calves and even the children, I mean, the offsprings, are very important, as it's also important to human health. So, thank you very much, Professor, for granting us your time and for your knowledge, for sharing your knowledge to us on the show. We are grateful, and we hope to see you again on the channel.
Of course. Thank you very much, that program. You're welcome.
Thank you. And with that, we've come to the end of this episode of Livestock Time with Professor Dr. İsmet Türkmen. And I do hope that you have enjoyed it. My name is Mercy Bamigbola, and I'll see you in the next one.